Hi guys, Ms. Burr again. I'm going to now be going over 8.3. So we are talking still about division of fractions. So I am going to be flipping it around. All right, so this is a very important thing to know. A fraction can be written as a division problem. We have already discussed that that's just not a fraction bar, that is also a division bar. So keep in mind that whatever is listed first on top is your dividend, and whatever's on the bottom is your divisor. So in this case, it would be 3 divided by 4. In other words, if you wrote it as a division problem, the first number goes into the box, the second number goes on the outside. So therefore, the answer to this is going to be less than 1 whole. So I want you guys to get out of the mindset that always the bigger number goes into the box, because that is not always true anymore. In this case, this is saying 12 is your dividend because it is the first number listed. Your fraction bar is also your division bar, and then this is your divisor. So in this case, when you are putting it to the division problem, your first number is inside the box, and then your divisor is always on outside. So this answer is going to be larger than 1 whole. Okay, so keep that in mind. The other thing I need you to understand is we are going to be figuring out what is being divided, and we're going to be figuring out whether a problem like 3/4 is saying like 4 divided by 3 or 3 divided by 4. Well, in this case, since this one is on top, the only one that makes sense would be this one. This is saying the exact same thing, or because this is going to be an answer that is less than a whole. If I write it like this, it is truly saying this as a fraction, which is bigger than 1 whole, because that is an improper fraction. So the thing that you need to remember is what there is. So for example, if they're talking about paper or pizza or food or clay, this is what is going to be your dividend, divided amongst what it is being shared by. So divided by means like shared by, and then it's your divisor is always going to be how many people are sharing it, or like putting it into containers, how many containers that you need to put it in. This is what you are going to be looking for in your division problem. So you're going to have to set it up correctly in order to make sense out of it. So for example, there are 3 students in a craft class and 2 sheets of construction paper for them to share equally. What part of the construction paper will each student get? So in this case, you guys are probably so used to just seeing whatever's listed first and writing it like this, because that was listed first, this was listed second. In all reality, it could be either or. So it could be written like this or this. And this is what you guys have to go back and think about. So there are 3 students, and there are 2 sheets of paper that are going to be shared equally amongst those 3 kids. So which way is going to be showing this? So this is what I'm saying over here. What there is. Okay, so what kind of item is being shared? So a lot of people are like, oh, you do the 3 first. Oh, so you're going to share 3 people to paper. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. So in this case, you are taking the what is there. Well, there's 2 sheets of paper, and then you're going to divide it amongst how many people? Well, it's going to be 3 people. So therefore, this is going to look like this. It's also saying you can also visualize it by drawing each piece of paper into 3 equal pieces. So we're going to make thirds. So if I look at it this way, 3 people are going to get, they have 2 sheets of paper. So one person would get this part of this one and this part of this one. So therefore, in all reality, it would be 1/3 plus 1/3, which equals 2/3 of the paper. But if you did it the other way, 3 divided by 2, that would be 1.5 sheets. So this is the thing. You would have to see, okay, well, is each person going to get 2/3 of a paper? Because that's also how you would write it, just like over here. You would write it like that. So is each person going to get 2/3 of a sheet of paper, or is each person going to get 1.5 sheets of paper? And that's how you also have to look at it as well. So in this case, if you did it, so if I did each person gets 1.5, now that just wouldn't be fair, because there's not enough of that. So therefore, this cannot be happening. Each person could not get 1.5, because just 1 whole and then a half of this would go to one person, but then there would only be a half left. So that is just would not make any sense. So therefore, this one is definitely not correct. However, this one is. Each person would get 2/3 of the paper. So you're going to really decide what is going on. You're going to take 2 sheets of paper and you're going to divide it amongst 3 people. So therefore, if you wrote it as a fraction, it's just 2/3. Each person would get 2/3 of a piece of paper. So therefore, this is true. All right, next. In this case, you could also have it like this. It says 4 people, 4 friends share 6 sheets of poster board equally. How many sheets of poster board does each friend get? Well, in this case, here is your only 2 options. You're either going to take 4 divided by 6, or you're going to take 6 divided by 4, and you're going to figure out which one makes sense here. So, like I said, I always like thinking about it as what is going to be divided? What is there that everyone is going to take a piece of? Well, in this case, everyone is going to take the poster board. And then what is it being shared amongst? It's being shared amongst 4 people. So in this case, the only one that makes sense is this one, taking 6 and you're dividing it amongst 4 people. 4 poster board divided amongst 4 people. So in this case, you could also think of it as this. If I came over here and I went and I cut each one up into 4 slices for each person. So here's 6 construction boards. So if I did this and I said, okay, this is 1 for one person, this part will be for that same person. This one would take that part of it and this part, and this part and this part. And if we put it all together, so this slice would go over here, this would go over here, and then this one would come over here, and then this and this would just be brought over here. So then therefore, each person should be getting 1.5 of these. So which one is going to be giving me 1.5 sheets as an answer? Well, this one would be giving me 4/6 as an answer, and this one would be giving me 6/4. So which one is showing more than one whole? It would be this option right here. So you could go ahead and also divide it out. So 6 divided by 4, that would be 1. 1 times 4 is 4 with 2. So therefore, my mixed number would be 1 whole and 2/4, which is also known as 1.5 sheets. So the only one that was going to be giving me the correct answer is 6 divided by 4 here. So this is where you're going to have to figure out. Now, if you did it the other way, doing 4/6, only each person would only be getting 4/6 of a sheet of paper. So that's only cutting up this part into 6, and each person would only get 4 of those. You got to really think about what is being asked here. All right. So here, this one, it says Miss Roos has a piece of string that is 125 inches long for a science experiment. She's going to divide that string equally among 8 groups of students. How much will each group get? So in this case, you will be looking at either doing 125 dividing amongst 8, or your only other option is taking 8 and dividing it by 125. Now think about this. Will each person be getting more than an inch of string or less than an inch of string? Well, each group should be getting way more than 1 inch of string. So the only one of these that makes sense is to give you something that is going to be more than 1 inch. This is going to be less than an inch, and this is going to be more than an inch. The only one that makes sense is this one. So what you should also be looking at is what is being divided. What is there? There is 125-inch string. And then how many people is it going to be divided amongst is the back. So in this case, it would be 125 divided by 8 is the only one that makes sense. Here, it's like saying that there's only 8 inches of a string and it's going to be divided by 125 people. That is what this one is truly saying. So you got to really pay attention to what is being asked here. So how can you represent this problem as a division equation or a fraction? So this can be written as a fraction of 125 over 8. That is what the fraction would look like. Now they say, okay, now write this as a mixed number now, because we already know we can't have that as an answer. So therefore, we're going to divide it out. Can 8 go into 1? No. Can it go into 12? Yes, just once. 8 times 1 is 8. So when you subtract, that would be a 4. Check it. We are good. So I'm going to bring down my next number. How many 8s go into 45? That would be 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. So when I subtract, that would be 5 remaining. So therefore, my mixed number is 15 whole times. So like 15 whole inches in this case. And then the fraction part is 5/8. So not just 15 whole inches, but 15 and 5/8 of an inch. So this is how many inches are needed. Because if you just do 15, you're never going to get to your 125. You need that 5/8 of an inch as well. So therefore my mixed number is 15 5/8. Okay, it says explain why 125 divided by 8 gives the same results as 125 over 8. So you can say they are the same thing. This is giving you a division format. So this is giving you your division problem in a division format. This is saying the exact same thing, but this is actually in fraction format. So they are both the exact same thing. It's just one is in a division format and this one is just as a fraction. All right, so now we're going to come on over here. So it says 6 friends are going to share 4 small pizzas equally. So again, this is where I'm saying to you to go in and look and see which one is this going to give me. Should I be taking 6 people and dividing it amongst 4 pizzas, or should I be doing 4 divided by 6? Well, this is where you need to go back in and I would look and see what is there that's going to be divided. Is the 6 students going to be divided amongst the pizzas, or is the pizzas going to be given to each of the 6 kids? Well, the only thing that makes sense is that you're going to take the pizzas and then you're going to divide it amongst the 6 kids. So the only one that makes sense here is like the how many people is it going to be divided by is always your divisor. Well, in this case, 6 friends are the ones that are going to be sharing this. So which one is showing 6 friends? And the back, it is this one. So therefore, the thing that makes sense out of this is that it's going to be our 4/6. It says draw lines on this model to complete the number sentence. So in other words, if you went over and you don't need to draw models here, but if you did, it would have been, there's thirds, but it says we're going to divide it amongst 6 people. So if you do it like that, that would do it as well. So if you make an X, then that's showing 6. So therefore, out of this pizza, this one friend would get that one. They would get this one. And then if you did the other ones, this is another piece that they would get. And then on this one, it would be this piece. So if you came over and you put them all in this, so one person would get 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 6 slices. If you did it the other way, which is 6/4, it means each kid would be getting more than 1 pizza. And that is absolutely impossible because there's not 6 pizzas, there's only 4. So therefore each person is going to get less than 1 whole pizza to themselves. So which one is showing less than 1 whole pizza is definitely this one. So that is another way that you can think of it as well. So therefore each person would get 4/6 of a pizza. Here it is saying 4 brothers share 5 packs of stickers equally. Okay, so here's another thing. You're going to have, what is there that it's going to be divided? Well, the only thing that can be divided here is the 5 packs of stickers. So 5 stickers are going to be divided amongst how many people? It is 4 people. So the only thing that makes sense here is which of these are showing this statement right here. Well, the only thing that makes, is showing this is this one. So therefore, if you wrote it as a fraction, this one is saying that only each person is only going to get 4/5, where this one is going to say it's going to be more than one pack per person. So if you wanted to do this and you wanted to show this, remember you're dividing these 5 packs into fourths, because one for each brother. So if you wanted to show it, you can go ahead and do that. So I'm cutting them up into fourths. And then I'm going to just go ahead and put them in to make it, because that's what each person would get. So now I'm just going to see how much is that truly. And really, that is, this would now be over here. So it's more than one whole. So which one is showing me more than one whole? It is definitely 5 divided by 4. So therefore, yes, this is the only one that makes sense. So then how many packs is that? So you could have divided it out. That would have been 1 time, and then 1 left over out of the 4. So then my mixed number would be 1 whole, and then my fraction would be 1/4. So each brother would get 1 1/4 of the pack of stickers. All right, this one says complete the number sentence to solve this. So 12 friends share 3 melons equally. What fraction of the melon does each friend get? So they just want what the fraction is going to end up looking like. So again, you're either going to get 12 divided by 3 or 3 divided by 12. So like I said, whoever is getting it divided amongst would be like the back number. So 12 friends are going to be sharing only 3 melons. So there's only 3 melons. So that needs to be the first thing. And then it's going to be divided amongst 12 people. So therefore, the only one that makes sense would be this. So then what would this be as a fraction? This is what it would look like. So you can have that as an answer, because that is only 3/12 of each melon is what each person is going to get. Or you could have reduced it down. What can go into both 3 and 12? You could have divided both the top and the bottom by 3. So how many 3s go into 3? That would be 1. And then how many 3s go into 12? That would be 4. So your other option was to say 1/4 of the melon. Each one would get 1/4 of a melon as well. So you could have said 3/12 and been done with it. Or you could have said 1/4. Still the same thing. All right, next, 3 students share 8 blocks of clay equally. How much clay does each student get? Okay, so here's the next thing. What is the item that's going to be divvied up to people? It is the clay. So that is what is being listed first. And then we're going to share it amongst 3 people. So then divide it 3 ways. So the fraction of this would be 8/3. And now they just want you to write that either as one of these, which this is going to be larger than 1 whole. So therefore they want this to be divided out. How many 3s go into 8? That is 2. So then you would subtract that. That would be 6. That'd be 2 remaining. So therefore my mixed number would be 2 wholes. And then the fraction part is 2/3. So therefore each student will get 2 2/3 of the blocks. All right, next, 4 students share 7 feet of ribbon equally. How many feet of ribbon does each student get? So again, you're going to be either saying 4 divided by 7 to make this true, or 7 divided by 4. And that's what you guys got to kind of determine. So what is being the thing that's going to be divided up? The thing that they have is the 7 ribbon is going to be the thing that's going to be divided amongst. So, and then how many people is it going to go to? It's going to go 4 ways. So you're going to take 7 and divide it by 4. So the only one that makes sense would be that one. Now they want you to write that as a fraction. So the fraction of this would be 7 over 4, which they don't want you to have that as an answer because they want it into a mixed number. So how many 4s go into 7? That would be once. And then when you subtract 7 minus 4, that would be 3 remaining. So therefore my mixed number out of this would be 1 and 3/4 feet of ribbon for each person. Okay, next, 8 girls share 5 fruit bars equally. What fraction of a fruit bar does each girl get? All right, so again, you're either going to be doing 8 divided by 5 or 5 divided by 8. So this is where you're going to be figuring out how many people is this going to be going to? This is going to be going to 8 people. So therefore, that is your divisor. So which one is showing 8 people? It is this one. And you're going to be taking 5 fruit bars and dividing it amongst 8 people. So therefore, the only one that was showing that was this. So now they want you to show it as a fraction. So that would be 5/8, and you can't reduce that anymore. So therefore, each person is going to get 5/8 of a fruit bar. All right, this one says 8 students share 12 mini oatmeal muffins equally, and 6 students share 15 mini apple muffins equally. Carmine is in both groups of students. What is the total number of mini muffins that she will get? All right, so in this case, you're going to have O for oatmeal, and then I'm going to say A for apple. So it says in this group, they're going to have 12 oatmeal muffins being divided amongst 8 people. So what is being shown here is 12 divided by 8. And then in this one, you would write it like this. So that is going to be a fraction that each person is going to get of the oatmeal muffins. So therefore, I'm going to put that over to the side here. How many 8s go into 12? That would be only 1. And then when you subtract it, that would be 4. So this one would be 1 and 4/8, which is also known as 1.5 oatmeal cookies. But then we're going to come over here. Carmine, if there were 6 people sharing 15 apples, remember what is being divided against is the back number. So that was 6 people are sharing this. And what are they sharing? They are sharing 15 apple muffins. So therefore, this would be 15 over 6. So again, you cannot have that. So how many 6s go into 15? That would be 2, because 6 times 2 is 12 with 3 remaining. So this would be 2 and 3/6, which is also known as 2.5. But it says Carmine is in both of these groups. So what is the total number of mini muffins that she will get? So this is what of apple, and this is oatmeal. So to figure out how much total she will get, you would have to add that. So what is a half plus a half? That would be 2 over 2, which is also known as 1 whole. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. So what is 3 plus 1 would be 4 muffins. So then therefore, she would get 4 muffins. Okay, next. Over here it says, Shauna has 3 adults and 2 children coming over. She is going to serve 2 small apple pies. If she plans to give each person, including herself, an equal amount of pie, how much pie will each person get? All right, well, here's the thing. How many people are there? Remember how many people there are that's going to be divided by is this back number. So there were 3 adults and 2 children. So that's 5 people, but then it said also including herself. So therefore, that is another person. So that would be 5 plus 1 more is 6 people. So therefore, what is being divided? It is only 2. So there's 2 pies and you're dividing it 6 ways. So therefore, the fractional part of this would be 2/6 of a pie. Each person would get 2/6 of a pie. So you could have said that. Or you could have reduced this down. What could go into both 2 and 6 would be 2. So you can reduce this by 2. How many 2's go into 2? That would be 1. How many 2's go into 6? That would be 3. So you could have said 2/6 of a pie, or you could have said 1/3 of a pie. They are the same thing. So those are your 2 options that you could have said. Okay, next. This one says Addison brought 9 pounds of oranges and 7 pounds of cherries to make fruit salad for a fundraiser. She wants to package an equal amount of fruit salad into each of 12 containers. So how much fruit salad would she put into each container? All right, so this is where we're going to have to figure out what is our divisor here. Well, what are we going to be sharing it amongst? They are going to be going into containers. The containers is that back number. And what is there? Well, there's fruit. So then it's going to be fruit divided by containers. So knowing that, fruit divided by containers. I'm going to write that right here. So what is the containers? How many containers? Well, there are 12 of them. And now we got to figure out how much fruit. Well, it says 9 pounds of oranges, but is that it? Well, no, it says there's also cherries. So then in this case, it is 9 plus 7 pounds. Then you're going to divide it amongst 12. So therefore, if you now try to figure out how much total fruit that is 16 pounds of fruit divided into 12 containers. So therefore, that would look like this as a fraction. Which, can we have that? No, we can't. So now I'm going to go ahead and divide it out. How many 12s go into 16? That would be 1. 1 times 12 is 12. Subtract it, and that would be 4. So the answer to this would be 1 and 4/16 pounds for each one. You could have said that. Or could something go into both of these? Yes, a 4 can go into both 4 and 16. So you could reduce it by 4. So then if you divided both the top and the bottom by 4, how many 4s go into 4 would be 1. And how many 4s go into 16 would be 4. So you could have said 1 and 1/4 pounds as well. So one of these 2 would be perfect. All right, next it says 9 friends order 4 large pizzas. 4 of the friends are going to share 2 pizzas equally, and the other 5 friends are going to share 2 pizzas equally. In which group does each member get a greater amount of pizza? All right, so they said that one group is going to be sharing 2 pizzas, but only 4 people. So this would be 2 divided by 4. And then this one in this group is going to be 2 pizzas divided 5 ways. All right, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show that. So it says 2 4 ways. Okay, fourths, I'm going to do it like this. So in this pizza, the person is going to get that. And then this pizza, that same person will get this part. So if I combine them to see how much that is, oh, that's really just 2 over 4, which is also known as a half of a pizza. Okay, so that is what each person is going to be getting. Now, this one says now you're going to be splitting this 5 ways. And there's a very, there is a way to go about showing this. So what you should do is you could do, I'm going to try and show 5 pieces. So that would be like 2. Then if I took this, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that would be 5 right there. Then if I did the same thing over here, this would be 5 as well. So if I took 1 piece over here and 1 piece over here, and then I kind of combined it, here is what each person would get, which remember a half would be right here. And so there's a little portion here that is not quite a half. So therefore, which one would get bigger part of the pizza? It would definitely be this group, because it is only being split 4 ways, but this one is actually getting split 5 ways so that it is smaller pieces of pizza. So therefore, which group is getting the greater amount? The group of 4 friends is getting more. Because you are not splitting up the pizza into more pieces here than you are here. All right. I want you to try number 11 on your own. Try to figure out which way you should be dividing this. Be careful. Remember, you want to pay attention to what there is and what is being it is being divided amongst. So be very careful. So try this one on your own. So please pause the video and try this on your own. Okay, so you should have done this on your own. And if you did this, it says that Jason has 5 zucchini. So that's what there is. And he is going to divide that amongst 3 of his neighbors. So he's going to be splitting it 3 ways by 3 people. So therefore, the fractional part of showing this is 5 over 3, which you cannot have. So if you divided that out, that would be each person would get 1 whole zucchini and then 2/3 of another. So each one would get 1 2/3. All right, so here is your next one. I did notice that they forgot the name up here, so you can just write name and then put a line, and then go ahead and we can look at this. So they just want to know, complete the number sentence to solve this. So it says 6 students are sharing 8 apples equally. So again, this is the amount of people that are it's being split amongst, and this is what is being shared. So it'd be 8 over 6, which is 8 over 6 is the fraction, which you can't keep that as a fraction, so you should have divided it, and it would have been 1 1/3 when you reduced it. This one would have also, if you would have reduced it, it could have been 1 2/6 as well. It's still the same thing, then 1 1/3. All right, so this one says 10 boys share 7 cereal bars equally. What fraction of the cereal bar does each boy get? Well, in this case, what would this look like as a fraction? So it was 10 people that are dividing, so that's your back number. And then 7 divided by 10, each person would get 7/10. And there's no way you can reduce that down. So each person is going to get only 7/10 of a bar. Here, 8 people are going to share 12 burritos equally. So the 8 goes to the back. The 12 is what is being divided by. So what is the fraction here? This one would be 12/8. And so can we have that as an answer? No, because it is an improper fraction. So we're going to figure out what that truly means. How many 8s go into 12? That would be 1. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract it, that would be 4. So therefore, this would also be known as 1 and 4/8, which 4/8 can be reduced down to a half. So this is saying 1.5 for each friend. So you are going to have 4, 5, and 6. So it's either going to be a fraction that can't be reduced down, or your answer is going to be improper, which you need to divide that out. So that is what is truly going on. Then I'm going to have 8 for your homework as well. So this is what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to do this one with you. There are 12 students in jewelry making class and 8 sets of charms. What fraction of a set of charms will each student get? So again, your only 2 options when it comes to dividing this is either this or this. So it's one of these 2 is going to be your option here. Well, you got to think again, how many people is this being divided against? That is 12. So that should be your back number. So this is not a 12, but this one is. And then what do they have? They have 8 sets being divided amongst 12 people. So the only thing that makes sense would be this bottom one. Now they want it in fraction format. So you would just do 8/12, which is good enough. So 8/12 of a set is good enough for an answer, or you could have reduced this down by dividing a 4 into both. So how many 4s go into 8? That would be 2. How many 4s go into 12? That would be 3. So you could have said 2/3 of a set as well. So it would be one of these 2 as an answer. Okay, so then on the back, you are going, well, I'm going to do number 1 with you. 8 friends share 4 bunches of grapes equally. What fraction of bunch of grapes will each friend get? So you're either going to be doing this or you are going to be doing this. So again, I would look at how many people this is being shared amongst. That is going to be your back number. Well, it's 8 friends that are going to be taking this. So the 8 friends need to be that back number. So which one is showing 8 friends? It is definitely this one. So 4 grapes, 4 bunches are being divided 8 ways. So this is the one that makes sense. But now write it as a fraction. The fraction behind that would be 4/8. So that is good enough to say. Or could that be reduced down? Yeah, what can go into both 4 and 8? Well, a 4 can go into both of these. So how many 4s go into 4? That would be 1. How many 4s go into 8? That would be 2. So you could have said 4/8 or a half would go to each person. Then you will also have the rest of this page for homework. So that is all you will be doing for 8/3. So I will see you guys later. Bye.